Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today is day 5. We will learn software testing about the concept QA बनाम QC. So make sure to watch the video till the end and don't forget to subscribe the channel for upcoming lesson. So we are going to learn is a QA. QA is a process like quality assurance. QA is focused on ensuring that the correct process are followed to build quality software. It's called a QA. We can say that quality assurance. Okay, it's a process related. So like example of the QA activity, so in this QA activity we mainly focus on creating testing standard and procedure, conduct process audit, define coding guidelines, reviewing requirement and design document, implement continue improvements practice. Like example, a QA team establish a code review process and testing guideline to reduce defect before coding is complete. Means a developer is doing a coding, so before start the coding, the quality assurance quality analyst person will ensure that we will follow the right process, that everything is accurate, so as per the process, and that process we will use and we will build a good quality of the project. Okay, so these all things we test and we check in a QA process. So QA is a process oriented. Okay, if you come to the QC, so QC focus on examining the actual software product to identify defect and verify requirement. Means QC is the actual software or testing. Once the software coding is completed, so the tester will test that process called a QC. Okay, so like QC is a quality control, we can say that. And QC focus on examining the actual software product, like example functional testing, regression testing, performance testing, security testing, defect reporting and tracking. Example, a tester execute test case on a login page and report bugs such as invalid password validation issues, because the application is already built, so the testing is start on the actual software. It comes under quality control. Okay, so there is some difference between QA and QC that I will explain to you. Okay, and the QC is the actual testing of the software. It's involved only testing part and focus on testing part 4, and it's a product oriented. So mainly QC is a product oriented. Okay, so there is some difference between QA and QC. Okay, so like I will explain. QA, quality assurance, mainly focus to preventing the defect. Means if we are developing a project, so from starting from initial state we will maintain and we will prevent the defects of the application. We will follow the correct process so that the all thing will be complete on a proper way. Okay, QC is a finding defect. So QC, when the actual software tester will test after developing the code. Okay, once developer develop the feature, that tester will test and execute the test case on the application, means the finding defect on an actual product. So there is a difference between QA and QC. QA is a process oriented, means in QA there is a process is involved. For all step by step things we will maintain there, but in QC is a product oriented. When the actual software come to the picture, the tester team write a test case as per the requirement and execute that test case on the software platform. There is a goal between QA and QC. So QA mainly improve development and testing process, but QC verify that the software meets requirement. Means the QA always from day one of the application they will improve development and testing process, but the QC verify the actual software whether it's meet the all requirement or not. Okay. And in QA there is some activity like define standard, process, audit, review, and track and training. The all things means they will review the all standard documents. They will give a training to the all team members of the application. But in QC there is a testing is involved, so defect identification and validation is happening. So that's come under quality control. Okay. And when it will be performed QA throughout the software development life cycle, the QA will be involved. But QC when it will be performed after the during product development, means the code is developed by the developer and the feature come to the picture. The feature is give to the tester for a testing. Okay. Now there is a responsibility of QA and QC. So QA like entire project team and QA engineer manager involved in a QA. But in QC, tester, QC engineer and only testing team will be involved. Nature of this QA and QC, QA is a very proactive, but the QC is reactive. Okay. So that's a difference in QA and QC. So ensure the like we can say that there is a huge difference between QA and QC. So QA is a process oriented, but QC is a product oriented. Okay, and there is lot of difference that like QA mainly focus preventing defects, and QC always finding defect. Okay. And the second point is it's a process oriented, and the QC is product oriented. Okay. There is a goal of the QA always improve development and testing process. In QC always verify the software meet exact requirement during the testing. Okay. So and QA there is a life cycle involved, like when we will develop any software, so there is some software development life cycle is involved, so that the particular life cycle they will use in a QA. Okay, so proper life cycle of SDLC they use from day one. Okay, but here in QC after or during product development. Okay, so that's the difference. Mostly in interview they have asked like what difference between QA and QC. Okay, there is a another term also is QE, quality engineering. Okay, in QE process they mostly do the automation of this application, like write code, write script also code to test the application through the automation. Okay, test project is known as QE. Okay, because they write only code for a testing purpose. not for a development purpose. Okay, so QE involve, like most of the automation engineer is involved there. They use Selenium, they use Playwright, they use Cypress for automation of the web applications. Okay, so mostly QE team is involved for automation. Okay, for automation testing. So that's a different QA, QC and QE. Now we will learn about level of testing. So there is four type of level of testing: step by step, unit testing, second is integration testing, and third is system testing, fourth is user acceptance testing. We can call it UAT also. So there is four level of testing: unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing. Now the unit testing, when come to the picture, a unit is a single component. Okay, single component or module of a software. So the unit testing means in any feature they will test a single component or a module. Example, a big software company that contain n number of feature. Okay, like example, we can take the example of Gmail. Okay, so Gmail, there is a component login, one component, or module we can say that. Second is like login is one, logout is other component. Okay, write a mail, that is other component also. So in this unit testing, the developer, what they will do, a developer write a code, okay, and test that particular component, test that particular component of the application. Okay, of the application. So that called is unit testing. Okay, unit testing conduct on a single program or single module. Unit testing conducts on single program or single module. Okay, unit testing is a white box testing technique which conduct by developer. So most of things, the unit testing is done by the developer only. Okay, developer. Now the second testing is integration testing. Integration testing. So integration means what? So the integration testing perform between two or more module. Okay, example, login. We are taking example of Gmail application. Okay, here is like login mail and compose mail, delete mail, sent mail. Okay, so the all module in a one application. So the all module in a one application means logging, sending, and in a bank application like money checking. Okay, and with they check the passbook as well in a machine, like whether it's updated, so that a different module also. So that's a we checked on perform between two or more module of the integration testing. Okay, so the best example of the integration, like the testing done by the developer, it's come under white box testing. Okay, means I'm a user of the Gmail application. I just write a email, okay, and sent a mail. I have sent a mail some ABC person. Okay, so while we will send the mail, that if the mail is sent successfully, it will show in sent module. Okay, if we are writing a mail, so that would be visible in compose mail. If we are deleted any mail, so that should be removed from the delete mail. Okay, or means if you deleted mail from inbox, it will come to in delete mail folder, or we can say that module. Okay, so this entire thing is an integration process, means whether input we are sending that captures the output or not, means the integration of the two module, that is called the integration of testing. Okay, so there is a most of things like that this testing done by most of developer, because the coding level and the code written by the developer, so they will execute and perform the integration testing in his machine. Okay, so at the tester point of view, they don't have code, they will don't write a code, will create a UI part for a testing, means the developer is done the unit integration testing, means of one feature is complete, they will send the UI path or UI module to the tester team will execute the test case, whether using manual concept or whether will be automation. If they are using automation like Selenium or Playwright with a scripting language like Java, Python, C++ or anything. Okay, so these type of things is covered in a integration testing. So there is a two type of the integration testing. Type of integration testing. Okay, there is a two type of integration testing. One type is incremental testing. Okay, second is non-increment testing. Non-incremental testing. So in incremental testing means incrementally adding the module and testing the data flow between module. Means a application have a 3 module. So one module A, second module B, third module C. I am taking the example. Module A, module B, okay, module C. So the incremental testing, the data flow will happen between A to B, B to C in a incremental form. So it's come under incremental testing. We will follow the process A to B, B to C. We will not follow the process like direct from A to direct C. Okay, so in incremental testing, the module and testing the data flow between module in a sequential way, okay, in an incrementally way. So that's come under incremental testing. Now the non-incremental testing example. Okay, there is a non-incremental testing example. I'll show you. So adding all the module, say adding all the module in a single shot and test the data flow between module. Means it's non-incremental testing flow, the adding all the module in a single shot. Like if application have 5 or 6 module, so in one time we will add the all module and that data will be flow in between of the module. Okay, but the drawback of this in non-incremental, we might miss data flow between some of the module, right? Like see, in not in incremental we are following A to B, B to C, like 1 to 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 in a sequential way. So we know like A is current working perfectly, then we performing the data flow between A to B. So A to B is the data flow is working correctly, then B to C. So means the we are adding incremental approach, so it's going good. The all data flow is happening in a proper way within a module. Okay, but in non-incremental we adding the all module in a single shot. We don't know whether the data flow is happening or not. Okay, so we might miss the data flow between some of the module, might miss the data flow of the module in between. Okay, and if you find any defect, we cannot understand the root cause of the defect, right? Why is it? C, A, C, D, now B. Okay, now E. So like in one shot we have added the in module A, C, D, B, E. We are checking the data flow in between. We don't know where is the miss. Okay, because the we thought the data is flowing in a well manner, but once we will come to the picture in testing phase, we are unable to understand whether data flowing between A to C or A to B, where is it flowing. Okay, so if you found any defect, we can't understand the root cause of the defect, but in incremental process, yes, we obviously can understand the root cause, like the issues in a module A. So if A between B there is no data flow is happening, so they will find the root cause of that, and that root cause part will cover in later. Okay, So the type of integration testing, incremental testing, non-incremental testing we have covered. Now the third testing is system testing. So system testing is a actual things the testers test the entire application. Okay, so I will create a separate session for this. After this, we will make sure to make a video on a particular system testing and type of system testing. Okay, so the testing overall the functionality. What is mean thus system testing? Testing overall the functionality of the application. It's called system testing. Okay, means the the client is given us to the requirement for the testing, so we will test accordingly. It's come under black box testing. Okay, the testing is conducted by the testing team. Testing done by testing team only, because they will test the actual feature. Okay, after completion of the component and integration, means we will test the integration part, whether the data flowing between module wise. Okay, and once the integration is done, we start the system testing. So before conducting system testing, we should know the customer requirement. So the customer requirement is the main thing. Requirement. So this customer requirement is what means the client is gave us the requirement. So we have a client requirement. The development team write the code. They develop feature. After that, the testing team will test the test cases on the particular application. Okay, and they will share the defect report to the developer who fixes, and the all report for the testing team and testing manager. Okay, so system testing focus on below aspect like user interface testing. Means the system testing mostly focus user interface testing. We can say that GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, the second thing is functionality. Means the application is working properly, like the button is clickable and we user click on this button, particular things in the backend it's running properly, the data is capturing, so that we will test the functionality. And usability testing, it's part of the system testing, that will also cover in next session. Okay, so the system testing is means the testing overall functionality of the application with respect to the client requirement. That's it. Next section we will cover the all entire things of the system testing. Fourth is the UAT, user acceptance testing. We already covered in previous session, but I will explain here also. So after completion of the system testing, the UAT team conduct acceptance testing in two level. There is a two level of UAT: alpha testing and beta testing. So alpha testing, it's a type of acceptance testing which is done before the product is released to the customer. It mostly done by the QA. Means the software tester will test. So before releasing application to customer, we will perform alpha testing. It's done by QA only. Okay, there is, so the all things they will test in alpha testing. There is a beta testing. So beta testing, the beta test conduct by the one or more customer site by end user of the software. So testing is a real-time environment. So alpha is signed off in client premises. Okay, there one or more customer will test that application. They will not test the entire applications like positive negative test scenario. They just test the happy path, okay, in beta testing. If the happy path is not working, so they will roll back and again alpha testing will be performed. Then alpha will be signed off, then beta will be come into the picture for a testing prospect. If beta will be signed off from the client, then it will be go live. So mostly the beta is testing on a live application, okay, real-time environment, but it will be tested by some particular, like in a market, like I have a one company. So my company is have a on product, like packs of the product, like we can say that Netflix. Okay, so in the market there is 100 user in a market. So on particular two person in the live application we will test the beta testing. Okay, or in the premises like the Netflix office there is some client user, they also have some beta applications. Okay, and because before releasing the beta to completely live, they will share the application to the client, and client will be test one or two users, like whether beta application is working properly, the all happy path requirement is met or not. Okay, once everything is proper work, they will live to the all person, all the customers. Okay, so that's it in this session of day 5. So today we learned QA and QC and difference between QA and QC, and today we learn also like the level of the software testing, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and UAT testing. So unit testing, we perform only control structure testing, conditional coverage, loop coverage, that will test by the developer. Integration testing, developer will also done. Okay, they will check the data flow between two or more module. Testing, while in a tester also they will do the all things, whether the application working, the data flow is happening properly or not. Okay, in the modules. And there is a two type of the integration testing, incremental and non-incremental testing, that I already explained. And the third is the system testing, means the overall functionality will be tested in the application, that I will cover in next session, the UAT. So UAT is the alpha testing, beta. Okay, that all is covered. So make sure to watch this video till the end, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for upcoming lesson. Thank you.